Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity. Okay. Well, first, hello, how are you? I hope everything's going okay. And just know that I spill all of my tea, good, bad, the ugly, but honest. I try to at least come with receipts, evidence, and eloquent, truthful, petty, not comical yet. I don't know. It's like I have a sense of humor, but I don't know. Like with my dry, sexual, like sarcastic humor, sometimes I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna hit. So it's like there's been time where I'm like, oh, I gotta re-record. Yeah, people aren't gonna. It's like, how about if they take it the wrong way? So, but anyway, today I'm gonna be talking about church trauma because even on past conversations, like I'm in different groups on Facebook, and sometimes when people ask specific questions, even like some of the writing groups I'm in, if someone's asking for a perspective on a church story or Christian story and things, since I have been severely traumatized through the church, I try to put my perspective on the my demographic or people like myself. And I have been judged, I have been criticized because I have had people say, well, you say you're traumatized, but there's no such thing. You're just supposed to pray about it and move on. Maybe it was meant to be, and all of this nonsense, garbage, idiotic, stupid, just drivel, basically, just dribble, whatever. So I'm going to be talking about, I think I've talked about it about a month ago, a little bit, but and once, like, I have, I keep saying I'm gonna go through my cell phone and try to find certain pictures, but I have so many. Like I said, once I can find a site where I can literally download all of them and organize them, I will do that because I desperately need to do that. So, anyways, okay. I know there was this one pastor that is going viral for talking about giving to the poor does not multiply, only giving to the church. And I have great issues with this, but at the same time, I have stories based off of what he said as well. Because, for one, I'm tired of hearing Christians telling me they live the way they do because of the fear they have in God. And at church, I hear it and I'm just like, we're not supposed to fear. But then, like in the Bible, it says we're not supposed to fear, but we're fearing God, or we're living the life in fear, or we're living the life so we don't sin in fear of the consequences, or that if we don't pray right for those sins, that they will not be forgiven, and so that we will be steps closer to going to hell. Yeah, and that's why it's like I'm a Christian, but I'm finding out like I'm a lukewarm because some of the things they say, I'm just like, no. I'm tired of living in fear. Growing up in such a strict household. No, I'm tired. I wasn't allowed to go to prom. I wasn't allowed to go to homecoming. I'm going to talk about the story soon when I was denied going to the Disney internship. I was picked early. Less than 2 weeks after I went to audition or an interview for the Disney internship, I had the letter and package for the invite and to plan my plane and everything. But my mother said no. And let's just say it's complicated, but till this day, I am traumatized. Until this day, it emotionally hurts so much. But the people that I've told at church, they just tell me to get over it and that God probably didn't see it as a blessing for my life, and or my mother probably saw what I was going to become. So it's better this way. So anyway, yeah, I have so many examples, but one of them is like at my church they have like the church meetup groups and the prayer groups, the Bible group, like basically, yeah, the the Bible study groups where people go to each other's houses and they study, read the Bible together, and pray together and things like that. And I went to a couple with my mom and a couple by myself, but I I don't know, it's just like sometimes when they would try to preach, the stories or examples they would give from their life, when I got in my car, like while walking to my car, I'm just like, what in the world was that? And it's like, but I'm big with volunteering nonprofits. Like that's my passion. And like even when my sister and I were younger, we volunteered together for certain things. And in college, we volunteered and we tutored and helped out with math, like teaching elementary math at a location. I won't say where, but it's like we did that for a couple years, 2 or 3 years actually. And then I volunteered with an outstanding, amazing nonprofit. And I'm going to say their name because if anybody donates money for special needs organizations, Paint a Miracle, please. Yeah, if you love art, if you love helping out the disability community and things like that, it's like, I know, it's like, I think like we we don't agree, or I don't agree politically with a lot of the ladies there, but we have the same mission, helping people with disability, with cancer, with different ailments. And see, this is why like sometimes people are shocked. You hang around people that are Republican? It's like my standards are for dating, my standards are for marriage. And as long as I know you're not a bigot, racist, and things, we can get along. And as long as you don't try to force me to think like you, or you're trying to force me to be Republican, like, oh, that's another reason I have church trauma, we will get along. It's just, especially over the last 8, 12 years, so many Republican church people keep telling me what I am supposed to think, what am I supposed to do, or what I am supposed to do, and what the church is telling me to do, and I'm supposed to follow them, who I'm supposed to marry. Ooh, I can do so, because I already did one about a pastor's son. So listen to that episode. But yeah, I have so many examples with the who I am supposed to marry. And I just know I stopped going to this specific church meeting thing because there was a nonprofit that I really loved. It wasn't Pain a Miracle, it was a different one. Because yeah, I love, like, if I can volunteer, I love volunteering. And I had to stop after a while because I'm like, okay, I need to pay off student loans. I need to, like, I want to save for a house. I want to get my credit score way, way, way up. I want my goal is to get it to the top tier. And so I did have to, like, well, I still volunteered once or twice a week with like one of the nonprofits, but I went from like going to work, volunteering, going to work, volunteering, volunteering, going to work, volunteer. Like, you know the drill. Just it, like my week was full. And I know one reason why my week was full was I did anything and everything to be out of the house. because I was going through so much trauma at home. But at this, I found out how much I loved volunteering, so it was a blessing. But it's sad that I I think I found peace through it because of what I was going through. And so, and oddly enough, a lot of the nonprofits were for like people with disabilities and special needs. And then I find out I have a disability. So it came full circle. And well, it's just kind of ironic because, like, to me, it became a blessing. And in a way, it allows me to understand like what people with disabilities used to tell me, what they used to warn me about, how other people treated them, how people degraded them. And even with dating, I remember there was one young lady who she would tell me that she liked a guy so much, but kind of like she has a walking disability too. And she told him that she had a crush on him because she told me like a week or two before that she was going to tell him and how nervous she was. And I just told her, like, just breathe and smile and embrace the moment. I was like, if he says no, just know you're an amazing person and it will be the next person. Like someone one day is going to look at you and they're going to just see the prize and wonderful, beautiful. And I don't mean a prize as in like award. I mean, let's say, I mean that in a, well, anyways, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. If you don't, whatever. But this jerk, like if I was her mother, ooh, I would have like, let me go up to the school. But kind of like how some guys have told me, he told her that he would never date a R word, and he spit right next to her. And when she came to the nonprofit, she was in tears. She was in tears. And I'm like, well, well, let's see. It's like we're basically hugging pose. I let her cry on my shoulder, and I just told her to. It's like some people are shallow. Some people can't see past the disability. And now that I'm literally living that, I'm seeing how many people can't see past the disability. I have tried to become the best person I can possibly be, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how great and wonderful I am. Business wise, dating wise, business wise, they refuse to leave a seat for me at the table. Even though I have a wheelchair or and scooter and things, they're not gonna leave a space for me to roll up on. They don't want me there. Being Especially also being black with a disability and a woman, they do not want me there. Dating, they do not want me there. Or they don't want to be around me. They don't want to be in my presence. They don't want people to know that I'm with them. They're embarrassed. But even at church, yeah, it's like you thought I was getting off topic. No. Even at church, you see the shallowness. You see the petty. You see the, like, people say you're supposed to live a certain way, but pastors, bishops, you don't know what your congregation say. When when the congregation or people in the congregation come up to me, why do you walk like that? Oh, God must not love you as much. You need to pray more. Oh, if your parents knew that you were going to end up like this, it's like, do you know what's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with me. This is before I was diagnosed. The doctors were saying that I was just lazy and I didn't want to pick up my feet, so that's all I knew. And so they would just tell me, well, if your parents knew you were going to walk like this, they probably would have never had you. Do you know how traumatizing that is? And so when I'm on Facebook responding to these church people, and they have the nerve to tell me, oh, there's no such thing as church trauma. You just need to pray more. You're too sensitive. Oh, I'm going to have to teach you. Yeah, because there was even this one thing about dating, and I said I want a lukewarm man, not a Luke man. And it's like this one woman responded, because I blocked her so quick. Well, it's my job to teach you because you don't know any better. Ooh, oh, she's fortunate that I watched church Sunday, because the things I want to tell her. Oh, the things I want to tell her, but I didn't. I just went like, while I was like, before I type what I want to type, let's go and block. Ta-da! She disappeared, and so I think it's in one of the, like, yeah, I think those two were in one of the like the black anime groups or whatever, but I forgot. Like, I'm in reading groups, anime groups. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I've said this so many times, but what else? Oh, I have my son is like, he just thinks you're so pretty. He thinks you're beautiful, but we have to make sure he's never going to be seen around with you walking like that. So when are you going to go to the hospital and get that fixed? You need to get that fixed. It's like you're fertile now, so you need that. During your fertile years, you need to make sure you fix all of these things and get it adjusted so that the proper man will come and get you. Oh, and I go to a mega church, so. But I just know, like, with that, and with that church group I went to, I would sometimes get people who, like, before or after the meetings, oh, so I see you're walking different. What's happening? What's going on? It's like, maybe we can talk about it during the meeting and we could pray about it. We can have God lift it off of you. No, no, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm okay. Well, no, you're not okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, well, maybe this is why you're walking like this. You're saying you're okay. You're not okay. Oh, I remember. Oh, well, no one's ever going to know who I'm talking about, but there was this one young lady that I went to high school with, middle school and high school with, and I think yeah, I think we went to the same college for a couple years, whatever. But anyway, I remember she drove by where I live, and she stopped. Well, because I was walking, I was getting the mail, or I was doing something. Either I just finished running errands, I don't know. Basically, I was outside, just got out of my car, and she stopped her car, and she's really big in the church or whatever, and she pulled down her window. Oh, hey, how are you? It's been a long time. What's going on? Why are you walking like that? I don't know. I walk like this. And see, doctors, this is what happens. You guys allowed me to grow up with no answers. You guys kept telling me I was lying. I'm making it up. It's like I want attention. So all of my life in the back of my head, I'm thinking I'm so stupid I don't know how to walk. I'm so lazy I can't even learn how to walk. I'm so worthless. I'm so despicable. God doesn't love me enough to allow me to walk right. This it still goes on in my head sometimes. I'm able to stop it, but for over 30 years, I thought all of this stuff in my head. And then combine that with church, combine that with their healing services. It's like, God will heal you if you believe. If you don't believe, you're going to stay like that. And it's like, you have to read these healing scriptures, and like, you have to go to the Bible study, and just all like, and if you don't go to the Bible study, if you don't speak in tongues, if you don't get like the healing things and get especially at my church back in the day, if you don't get our tapes and CDs and listen to them over and over, but you got to make sure you buy them. Yeah, buy them. Yeah, our church is really great at having different streams of income. It's like, once after I got my MBA in marketing. And once I started learning more about streams of income, digging more into it, I started thinking about the Christian organizations and the mega churches and the streams of income, the marketing, the advertising, how they speak, how they sell. It's really interesting with how they speak and talk to people. But I remember with the church group, I would say I'm okay, please. And so I stopped going again, and I would run into the people from the organization or from the like Bible group still, Bible study. And sometimes they would stop me. You didn't come last week. What's going on? Or you haven't been in for a month. What's going on? And I was volunteering. And so I would start yeah, I'm volunteering, and it's like I'm getting a lot out of it. I really love spending my time and giving back to the community. That's not in the Bible. You're not doing what God's work is. Maybe that's why you walk like that. You're drifting away from God's plan. That's why you walk like that. Once you come back to Bible study, maybe He'll start healing you. But there's no such thing as church trauma, right? And with this one pastor who has the nerve to say, if you don't give to the church, if you only give to the homeless, it's not going to multiply tenfold. I guess I'm not going to multiply to I don't want to say that because I don't want to like, there's so many things in the church they say and claim, but there's some things I've learned that I'm not going to do what a lot of pastors say. I am going to donate and give and volunteer where my heart goes. I want to give back. I want to, I don't want to live in fear. And so if I can volunteer in peace and know that I'm helping out the community, because just like that poem with Jesus's footprints, it's like I want to leave my footprints in the sand. I want people to know it's like she was a giving person. She didn't do it out of fear. She did it out of love. She donated and gave time, and with my children's books, with my novels, I want to read at the children's hospitals. I want to read at Ronald McDonald's houses. I want to read at any kids nonprofit. I want to go and read and play game. I created activities and games based off my characters. And even with my novels, it's there are some hospitals that have the books, different books donated to them. At one of the veteran hospitals where my dad goes, because he is a veteran, I it's I looked at the books, or I walk, because I am a big reader, but I had books on me, but I wanted to see what kind of books do they have. Almost every single book they had is a white romance novel. Almost every single one. Able-bodied white people. No different, no diversity, equity, or inclusion. No DEI. Nothing. It's if they had any minorities, I could and these are over 100, 200 bucks. It's I took my time. I know 10 or 15 minutes later, my sister came to check on me or whatever, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm looking through these books." And she was just like, "Oh, have you found anything?" I was like, "Oh, I found something." She was like, "Oh, well," "No, I'll tell you in a minute." And when I got back to her, I let her know, almost every single one of I don't see any books with people of color or anyone other than Caucasian. And it's I mean, I can read I have no problem with reading a book. I read Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys is still one of my favorites, but part of me just feels especially back in high school, I remember going to my teacher in tears because but the only time we saw African Americans in the book was To Kill a Mockingbird, was in Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, when we had to read the N word. It's like the teacher said it's optional. I remember the black boys in that class, whenever they saw the N word on a page and they knew who was going about to read, they looked them right in the eye. They're like, "Yeah, say it. I dare you say it." So that was funny. That was funny. I will never forget. I will never stop laughing at those moments. But part of me just felt like, when can we be the main character? And so that's why I want to, like, once I get my novels done, I want to make sure I donate to some of these hospitals, and I mean to a lot of places, but especially hospitals, so that veterans and like, or African American veterans, or and like white people can read them too. But I know, like, a lot of times we want to see characters like ourselves. We want to read about characters that look like us, and I want to at least do that if I can. And then people who are in the cancer unit, they have the like, or any unit in the hospital, like if I can donate for the patients. It's like sometimes while they're getting their chemotherapy or their treatments, or if they have to stay after, if they got in a car accident or any injury, whatever, if they want to read, hey, I have another option. I have something that doesn't look like, well, and I'm not saying that's every hospital. I'm just saying, like, and we went to that hospital quite a few times over the last 2 years. And each time I would look, and I still have not found one book that had somebody of a person of color. Anyway, this is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too. If you have faced church trauma, or if you don't believe there is such thing as church trauma, please write it in the messages. Let me know, what are your thoughts with the church community? What's your thoughts about giving to the poor or volunteering and things like that? Do you think there's a difference? Do you think there is a multiplier? If you're atheist or not a believer, or if you have another religious belief, like especially when it comes to the Quran, and like the like I believe, like, with the Muslim community, like there's ski, and like there's different religious demographics. So I'm really interested. It's like, 'cause I know a lot of our books have a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences. So I really want to know what your book says about the poor and volunteering and things like that too. But you guys have a great and amazing day. Take care and live your life. Live it.